Welcome to another segment of TYT Sports. This time we're going to look at English Premier League predictions. One of my favourite things to do is make some pre-league suggestions and watch them either develop and I take full credit for them, or watch them fail in which I say it was Jason that told me to say it. So we're going to look at the teams who I think will be top four, mainly in the English Premier League. Again, I'm going to call a team who I think are going to win it, but I'm not going to break it down first, second, third and fourth. It's a little early for that, considering that there's still signings being made. But the first team I'm going to talk about is Manchester United. So in terms of recruiting a manager, I don't think they could have done a better job. The only other coach I think that they could have got in, which would be better fit than Van Gaal, would be to get Alex Ferguson to come back from retirement to fit into his Manchester United role. But Van Gaal is an incredible active recruitment for Manchester United in terms of coaching. He's proved throughout his career that he can win trophies, a Champions League accolade, and he done a great job with Holland in terms of his strategy. He was just unlucky when it came to the penalty kicks. But the thing about Van Gaal, which I think he'll bring in a couple of new faces. I think, as I said before, I think there'll be a Dutch invasion. I think he'll bring in a couple of players. I think he's trying to bring in De Vrij, and there's talks of Lahr coming in. But the thing about them is they finished seventh, so they're not going to have to worry about Champions League football. So I think he can focus primarily on the Premier League, which is a big factor considering most of the other teams that are going to be fighting for this position are looking to try and make a name in the Champions League. Manchester City, Chelsea, Liverpool making a return to the Champions League. So I think this will give Manchester United an upper hand. And a last comment about them, David Moyes, his problem is he tried to enforce, I think, his Everton-like playing style to a Manchester United team that was just never going to fit into. Fair enough, there were some players that were aging. I think Van Gaal's going to have a brand new back four, and which is going to be it's essential for Manchester United considering how bad defensively they were last year. But of course, you can't rule out the teams that come next. From Manchester City, obviously, you've got to place a huge emphasis on them. Fair enough, they've got all this money to come in, but you can't, as Chelsea showed before, you can't have all the money and just suddenly transition. It took them a while to get into that Premier League status, but Man City have transformed very well considering how much money they took in. They've won the league twice in the last 3 years, which has got to get all the credit to them. And it's hard to write off the noisy neighbours because they have got that winning mentality in the league now. But I've got a feeling that Man City, especially Coach Pellegrini, are going to have a view on the Champions League next year. They've yet to make an impact in it. They've yet to make some noise. Considering how big a team they are, it's a big factor the Manchester City fans want to see. And I think they might be concentrating a little more on the Champions League next year. They've not added as much new faces as we would expect, considering their money. But we'll see how it goes. In Arsenal, another team we're going to have to get to. Arsene Wenger, unlike previous years, he's gone out there and he's spending. It's like someone's just gave him, it's like one of those kids who just gets his first lease of pocket money. He's just gone out and thrown on everything he can see, bringing in Sanchez, Debussy. I think he's still looking at Khedira, which is good signings because Arsenal have not done that in years. Fair enough, last year they bring in Ozil and some good signings, let's be honest. They've been developing into a more active team in the transfer market rather than just selling their best players. And I think they'll be good next year. I think they'll definitely fight for second. I think, as all I said, Manchester United will take it. I think Arsenal or Man City will run them to the wire. So it's going to be interesting to see how they'll play. And then lastly, you've got to look at Chelsea, of course. Jose Mourinho is going to be, his ego will be hit. The fact that he didn't make such an instant return to the Premier League. If I know Jose Mourinho, I'm sure everyone else knows him out there, he would have come back and wanted to win that league straight away because he's a genius at the game. He's one of the best managers we've ever seen, and he doesn't like to wait for his return to have an impact. He likes to get things going straight away, and I think he'll be out for blood next year considering how they didn't win that competition. But will they be able to perform with a Diego Costa strike line? They've been lacking in goals. Costa comes in now for a big fee, and will they be able to start racking up some more Premier League goals, which is where they've been lacking. And sorry, I forget I said lastly, but I got to throw in Liverpool. A Suarez-less Liverpool. The fact is that they sold their best player, Steven Gerrard, coming off the back of another disappointing performance from him in terms of the World Cup and the way he ended the league. It will be interesting to see how they rebound after coming so close next year. It will be fascinating to see, and they're going to obviously return to Champions League football, which is everyone at Anfield loves, considering they won it back in 2005 in dramatic fashion, may I add. There will be a tie between both. I think the fans will want to see them obviously make another Premier League run, but I don't think they'll break the top four this year. I'm afraid. I think it's a bold statement, but we'll see how Brendan Rodgers makes his team around a team that has lacking their best player. Suarez now gone. So that's my predictions Obviously, I want to hear yours. Are you going to think Tottenham maybe come back in with another Premier League run like they've done a couple of years ago? I would love to hear what you have to say. Leave your comments on the section below. Follow me on Twitter at Francis_Maxwell. Follow us at Twitter at TYTSports. And there'll be more prediction videos coming with the La Liga, the French League, the Serie A, the Bundesliga. We're going to predict all our winners and we'll see if I get anything right. Thank you, and check out our website at TYTSports Online.